Hello and welcome to today's session. My name is Nadia and I'm a customer training manager here at EBSCO. Our session today is part of our ANZ Public Library series, and the product we are reviewing today is NoveList Plus. This is Reader's Advisory and will help you to find your next best read. These are the objectives from our session today. It is my hope that by the end of today's session, you'll be able to navigate the NoveList platform, perform searches on titles, authors, series, and narrators, access and describe reader likes, locate, help, and support materials for NoveList. So, what is NoveList Plus? It is a repository of book recommendations that have been designed to help support readers' advisory activities. It contains over 500,000 book records, including fiction as well as nonfiction, comic books, manga, graphic novels, audiobook, and more. It also includes international or regional content from regions like Australia and New Zealand. Now, one of the key features of NoveList Plus is the advisory aspects. So in this example, I might be on the library desk and I might have a patron that comes up and they would like a book just like the Assassin's Blade from the Throne of Glass series. So utilizing NoveList Plus, we can do something called finding a reader like, using reader likes from NoveList Plus to help us locate other titles or even series that are similar to the book that the patron wants to read. So we'll have a look at this in a live demonstration shortly, but this is just a screenshot of an example. So you'll see here on NoveList Plus, we've typed in the title. This particular title is The Assassin's Blade, and it's part of a series here called the Throne of Glass novellas. Running the search here on the title, we actually get the details on the screen here. And what you'll notice down the bottom is that there are audiobook listener likes because this particular title is available in audio. There's author reader likes, and there's also series reader likes. So we can find a lot of information that we can use for recommendations based on just a title search on the platform. So an example would be if we clicked on the details further to the right-hand side, there's a column that will have these suggested reader likes. And from the little right-hand side column, if you hover your mouse over a book jacket, this little preview will pop up. They'll give you a description of the title, and they'll usually give you a reason as to why NoveList is recommending a particular title for these books that they're interested in here. So we can see here NoveList recommends Ember in the Ashes here. For fans of the Throne of Glass novels, check out the first book in the series and basically see if you like it. So the author reader likes as well. If you have the author reader likes, this is obviously the series reader like here. It will give you suggestions for authors that have similar writing styles. So it's quite a unique platform in that it does provide you with these readers' advisories, allows you to view more information, and you can even print out your list of reader likes as well. Now, one of the key features of NoveList Plus is something called our story element. And this story element is really based upon the idea that there are different aspects of a book that can catch a reader's attention. The novelists have categorized these into genres, appeals, and themes. And these all come together to make it easy for readers to discover books that they are in the mood to read. Now, genres are generally the entry point for reading. We're all pretty familiar with some of the standard genres like mystery, romance, or fantasy. However, with novelists, able to actually narrow down specific genres like romantasy, space opera, or even hard-boiled fiction. We also provide something called the appeals, and these help readers determine why they enjoy a book and whether a particular book will fit their style and their mood. And you can use the appeal to find books that are based on the type of character that you like, the pacing or the tone of a book, or even the style of illustration. And there are ways that we can utilize the platform. Have a look in live shortly to very quickly locate these story elements. And we can do quick searches as well to locate these two. The third aspect here is our themes, and these are really hard to define elements of a book that will help hook a reader in. They broadly summarize key plot points. For example, the chosen one in a fantasy novel, for example. And Novelist will also allow you to match themes like stories that are inspired by real events that are also super creepy. So these genres, appeals, and themes are part of the story elements available within the Novelist Plus platform. Okay, so here's an example of where the genres, the appeals, and the themes come into play. So when we had the earlier example, the patron really knew what they wanted to read. They had a book there. This is a book they wanted to read. What else is similar that they could actually go and read as well? So sometimes we will get the question saying, "I'm looking for a good book." So it's very hard to define that. Everyone's idea of a good book is very subjective. So using Novelist, we are actually able to build up using the appeals, the genres, and the themes to help find a book that will help that patron answer the question, I'm looking for a good book. So here's just an example of some of the appeals. So unputdownable, feel good, anthropomorphic, fun reads, where you can also zoom in on things like audio appeals. So animated, wry, distinctly voiced, resonant. We can even find character-driven novels or even characters that we as a reader can help connect with. So for example, Latino um, authors or characters, um, using mobility or assistive devices, neurodivergent characters, unspecified people of color, for example. So these are some example kind of characters that we can use to help build up what's a good book for that particular patron. And one of the key things with the characters specifically is that Novelist is committed to fostering diversity, equity, and inclusion across the products. And with the character-driven connection, well, identities and appeal terms can help users create or locate books with backgrounds of specific people. I'm going to show you how we can look at some of these as well, such as Australian Indigenous authors and also some New Zealand Māori authors as well. And also plots are another thing. So finding plots that readers like using themes. So Duck Lord, Grumpy Sunshine, Race Against Time, Welcome Baby. The different themes and plots that we can use here, again, to try and find that good read. And these are some of those genres. So I mentioned that there are, your standard genres, mystery, romance, fantasy, but these just take it a little step further. So we have romantasy. It's very, very popular genre at the moment. Social science fiction, relationship fiction, and picture books for children as well here. All right, so that's a little bit about Novelist Plus. We're now going to head over into the platform and just navigate Novelist Plus and have a look at some of these tools and features. On this screen here as well, you'll notice that there is the option to create Novelist Plus search boxes that you can add into your library website as well, and even book club pages and all sorts of things. So we do have promotion kits available on our EBSCO Connect site. All right, so let's go into the platform. This is Novelist Plus, and just a couple of things I will point out to you at the moment. So at the top, you have some options to the left and also to the right. Now, from the browse by, we can actually browse by genre, by appeal, and by themes. So those story elements that I mentioned a little bit earlier. We can browse by award winners or even audiobooks. So let's say I was interested in a particular genre. I'll just click into the browse by option and I can then start to browse. You'll also notice in here that there is the option to kind of sort by the age level as well. So if you had a patron that was an adult, great, we can browse the adult. If you had a teen, we could browse through the teen genre and the age groups here, 9 to 12 or 0 to 8. Okay, so I'm probably going to stick with our adult age group here today, but a couple of things you'll see here. This is new and popular in all genres. We have A to Z fiction here. We then get into things like crime and suspense, fantasy, historical fiction, and so on. And if we just scroll through the list, here we come down into Australian and New Zealand literature. So these are titles that have been curated here for this particular region. So these are highlighting authors of the Antipodes. And you can see if I do hover my mouse, I do get a little snapshot, a little preview of this title, the author, the description, and I can add things into my folder here as well. All right, now at the very bottom, you've also got links into those specific genres here as well. Okay, so coming back up to the top of the screen, that was just a quick browse by genre. We can browse by appeal here as well. And this is where we can actually make our own appeal mix. So for example, I might be an adult and I'm wanting to look at a particular category. So what helps me, what really hooks me into a title? So maybe I am quite character driven. So characterization, maybe I like a brooding or a complex character. In my second category, I'm going to go with storyline. So I like things that are multiple perspective. In the select category as well, I also like a particular mood. So from here, I like something that's action packed. So here we've got some characterization. It must be brooding. My storyline must contain sort of some multiple perspectives, and my mood is action-packed. And my mood might also change. I'll have a look at these appeal mixes, but I might even go back in and make some slight changes as well. So let's have a look at these titles based on my appeal mix. So I've got nothing found for that. It's probably a little too specific. So maybe we will have an intricate plot here. All right, so here I've got 7 results. So sometimes you won't find it if it's very, very narrow. This is obviously a mix. So here we've got 7 suggestions for my appeal mix here. And I can hover my mouse and see a little snapshot of these titles. So some common authors here. Lee Child's pretty popular. And I can scroll through using the carousel as well. If I click on View All, so maybe you've had a patron come to the desk, they've given you some details for the appeal mix of what they're looking for in terms of a good book. Here's my list of 7 results. So just more of a result list view. And what we can do is also print these out for that user or share it. So what I would normally do if I was on the desk and someone was in front of me, I would maybe use my option here. This is a detailed view. I actually like the detailed view because it gives me the Goodread reviews, and I do like to refer to Goodreads when I am reading a book. So this is quite useful to me, but you could also do like a compact view where you've just got the titles and you could have then simply print that out. And that's what the printout would look like. So those options are there too. There's a detailed, there's a brief, a grid, and so on. All right, so that is our browse by appeal, and we also have browsing by theme as well. Okay, so here's our theme index, and these are those hard to define elements of a book that will hook reader. Speculative genre, realistic, and juvenile focus. We also provide throughout the NoveList Plus platform guides as well. So here's some theme guides that will give us some details here. So web of connections, metaphorical, racism, chosen family, unreliable narrators, final girls, and so on. So these are quite useful little lists and articles as well that you'll also find throughout the platform. And here's our speculative genres here. So we've got fantasy. Here's some characters, Dark Lord characters, last of their kind. The plot, for example, again, we're in fantasy here. So things like court intrigue, slaying the dragon, too powerful to contain. Down here, we've got horror. So our characters, is that final girls? Science fiction and superhero graphic novels and stories. Then we've got things like our realistic genres and juvenile focused. So lots of ways that we can locate information to help find and do more readers advisory with our patrons. That was just simply in Browse By. There's also audio award winners here as well. So you can have a look at some recent winning titles. Maybe that's just something quick. And over here, we can also do awards by type. So maybe we did have maybe a book club. We wanted to do maybe an Australian and New Zealand award winner as our book club book. So here's a quick way of having a look at that. And we can then sort that here by our audience. And then scrolling through here, we can see the details. So we've got non-fiction, we've got Age Book of the Year, Asho's Business Literature Prize, and so on. The best horror novel. So here we've got some award winners there that we could use as well. Okay, so that was browsed by award winners. We can also browse here by audiobooks too, and audiobooks are really becoming more and more popular in libraries as well. So here's some forthcoming audiobooks. Onyx Storm has been very popular. David Baldacci, Frida McFadden, one of my favorites. So we can see some options there as well. And again, we can also browse through these curated lists and refine them down by these different categories here, general fiction, classics, and so on. Okay, so that was Browse By. In quick links, we have further information. So we have quick links about articles here. So this is more for librarians, I guess, but also users to find out more information here. LGBTQIA plus patrons, Reader's Advisory for teens. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Reader's Advisory, we can actually have a look here at an article with the 10 best practices. So this can also help with library staff brushing up on their skills. And over to the right, we can print that out, we can email it, we can save it, and we can add it into a folder. All right, so quick links is there. We've got book club resources ready to go. So have a look through the book club resources here. So what can I do with book club best bets? Here's some story elements to help tailor some titles, how to start a new book club, and so on. So lots of information here, lots of examples and resources that can be used to help you run or develop a book club. We've also got genre guides, page to screen. So this will be about books turned into a TV or a movie, for example. Here's Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy. So yeah, lots of little quick links in here that can help. Here's the story elements index. So this is going back to that previous information about your genres, your appeals, and your themes. So this will take you into an overview of all of those story elements index. So here we find more information out about those different genres. We also have some example searches. You can simply click on these as well. There's more resources with genre guides. Here's the appeals information. So some example searches that we can try. So dark, humorous, and cartoony illustrations, atmospheric and creepy. We can access that appeal mixer from here as well. And then we've also got information here about those themes. So examples of the chosen one in fantasy or a fake relationship, romance, suspenseful stories about love in a small town. You get the idea. So there's also links to more resources. We even have YouTube clips and blog posts about this as well. And again, you've got little example searches that you might like to try. So inspired by real events, we'll have a look at these themes. So it's just running a search here, as you can see. It's a theme, TH for theme, inspired by real events. So if someone says, I'm after a true crime story, this is a really quick way of getting to those. And of course, once you've run that search, you've also got some refinement options here. So you can apply limiters. Maybe you're just looking for fiction titles. Maybe you want to further sort by a particular genre or a theme, or maybe a storyline or a character or a mood, time period, and so on. We've even got locations listed here as well. All right, so that was in our story elements index. And lastly, we've got some information around working with youth. The next one over is how do I? So I won't go into these, but this is a really great tab to know is there. If you're new to NoveList and you're thinking, how can I find reader likes just at the point of need? Here's some information for you. How to find books by grade or reading level, finding books by appeal, and so on. And there's also a link here for how to learning how to use NoveList. It will open in a new window and take you into the help page here. So you can sort through the how do I option and additional features here as well. All right, now that's sort of the top left-hand side of the page. So just really the drop downs and going into specific areas within NoveList Plus. Over to the right-hand side, we also have a link to help. There's a link to supply some feedback to the team that look after NoveList, and also for suggesting some reader likes as well. So if you'd like to make a recommendation, you can absolutely do that. Your users can also do that as well for here, and that will go through to our team who will then review it and then decide whether they would like to include that in the recommendations. Okay, so that was just an overview of those options across the top and across to the right-hand side. I did also mention the folder. So this is very similar to the My EBSCO account. If you would like a folder, you can sign in or sign up to have that account, and you can then save items from within NoveList into that folder so you can review them later. Sometimes it's useful if you've got a folder as well, if you've added some titles in there for a patron, you can always go back in there and then print those items out for them. All right, so coming back to the homepage, over to the left-hand side, we also have some linked curated lists. So just really easy stuff to get to. If you click on them, I'm in adult here at the moment, but you can sort by your age group. If you simply click on this, so there's a 2025 Novelist Reading Challenge, you can go in here by month. So if I wanted to look at what's available on the list for the May challenge, we can simply click that and we'll get a list of recommended titles. Here's some recommended reads. And again, if we hover our mouse, we'll get a little description of those titles here. So a really good way, again, if you're just wanting to quickly have a look at some popular titles as well. Over to the right, there's also the links into those different challenge lists as well. So once you're in here, you can still navigate and have a look at maybe the June challenge or the July challenge and view the records there. And again, you could sort that as well. Here's a little folder icon to add those items into the folder if you wanted to use that option. And you can also print, email, save, and again, add the list to the folder. Okay, so coming back to the homepage, again, your curated lists are here. So for any of these, just click, and then you can have a look at those predetermined curated lists. From the homepage at the top, we are running a survey about novelist reading recommendations. And then down the bottom here, we also provide these little carousels. So these are, I'm in the mood for books that are for adults, for teens, ages, and then you've got these different kind of themes and genres. So action-packed and fast-paced titles, atmospheric and creepy, haunting and lyrical, or moving and reflective. And you can scroll through these carousels as well. You can also make your own combo that will just take you to that appeal mixer that we looked at earlier. So making your own appeal mix can be accessed from there. Just jump back a screen. We've also got these direct browse genres by age. So I'll just click into adults here. And then we can start to refine that down. So again, if I was looking for maybe Australian and New Zealand literature, this is a quick way to get into that content. And again, if you're wanting a printout, you can simply go to view all. And you'll see my little search string at the top there. And then you've got your print button here as well. And again, you could even refine that down by particular genre for that patron as well. Another thing you'll also see, I've basically just run that search here. This is that recommended list. We've got audiobooks as well. Audiobooks have been very, very popular. We've even got titles by a series. So someone's interested in a series here by author. So again, we're looking at New Zealand fiction at the moment. And you've also got lists and articles. So here's an article about New Zealand fiction, very recently updated, and Australian and New Zealand literature. All right, so there's lots of things in here. That's really the browsing options. So again, I'll just scroll down a little bit on the page. That was the browse by genre. There's also these featured award-winning titles, and there's also a featured audio book. And again, you can navigate into the full list of award winners and the full list of audiobooks. Okay, so that's some browsing options. I'm now going to run a quick search. So in my example, I have an author that my users would like to find more information about. I'm going to use Sarah J. Maas. So you see if I start typing, if the author is in NoveList, then they'll kind of appear like this in the list, and I can simply click on that name here, and that will then just run that search for me. So this is the author information, and over to the right, I get reader-like authors, similar authors to Sarah J. Maas, and I could click on this to view the titles by these particular authors as well. So I might be interested in Rebecca Yarros here. So if I just hover my mouse over that little magnifying glass, it gives me a description of the author and the reason why her titles might be similar to Sarah J. Maas and why I might find them appealing. Okay, and we can again add this information to the folder or go into more info. If we scroll down though, so this is the author page, I then get a list of this author's titles. And this particular author has done quite a few audiobooks. So a lot of her titles are available in audiobook. So we can see the audiobooks here that are available. We also then have series. So this particular author publishes titles in series. So here's her Crescent City series. Here's her Court of Thorns and Roses series, Throne of Glass series, and so on. We can also see the popularity of these series as well. And if we really like a particular series, we can also see the series reader likes. So if I was interested in Throne of Glass, of course, I could just click on that. And now I'm looking at the Throne of Glass novels, and over to the right, I have some reader like suggestions here as well. I'm in the Throne of Glass novel here. So if I scroll down, here are the books in that series and in the order that I should be reading them. So this is also really useful when people are thinking, well, where should I start with a particular series? What titles are available in audiobook format? And even some information about the series as well. So we can see the genres, the mood, the style. So if we were building up our appeal mixes, we can take a look at some of this as well. And down the bottom, we can also search for more based on this particular series as well. So yeah, so there's some reader likes to the right-hand side. I can view all of the reader likes and grab a list and print those out as well. Okay, so coming back to the home screen, I'm also going to do just another search by title for a particular book. So this is a title called Tauhu. Again, if it's in the system, if it's in NoveList, you'll see the little option here, and clicking on that will just run that search. So here's the title. I see the authors, the description of that title, the genre, the themes, the storyline, and also some media mentions about this. I also get a permalink as well. You might notice the permalink to return back to these pages as well. And then down here, we get more about the book. So I can see the genres and the themes, the location, the subject, the author identity, and then down the bottom, we can again build up our own recommendations here as well, based on the information from this particular title. Over to the right again, we get our reader likes. Okay, so that is our title. The other thing as well that I think is quite useful here, I love audiobooks, so I read quite a lot of them. If you have a particular narrator that you like the sound of, you can even search in here by a narrator of an audiobook. So I'm just going to type in a couple of examples. So Ben Chappell. See, he comes up here. And this will take me into the narrator page and tell me a little bit about him. So he does a lot of adult fiction. Here's one of the titles he narrates, and it gives me a description here of that particular title. And down here, we get more information about that as well. Coming back up to the top, I'll try another example. We'll do Elizabeth Evans this time. Elizabeth Evans. Again, she's a narrator. And this is picking up all the titles that she's narrated. So we can see a lot of the Sarah J. Maas titles are here as well. So lots of ways that we can find information. And over here, we can also see we've got some audiobook listener likes, author reader likes, and series reader likes directly from those result lists as well. Okay, so I'm just going to jump back to the screen here. And what I also wanted to show you is advanced searching. So as you can see, keyword searching, title, author, even series searching and narrator searching is here. You also do have an advanced search screen. Can be a little daunting when you first see it, but this can also help you to locate specific content or items of interest. So for example, there are items around media mentions. Maybe you're after a title that has had some coverage on the media. So you can actually sort by here. There is also the author's nationality, and there is also the author's gender identity and the author's cultural identity. So I did want to show you here um, in the list of the drop down here, we have Indigenous Australian. So we can simply select that cultural identity. We could add a keyword in if we wanted to, or simply search novelist. This will now retrieve records, books, and a list of authors that are Indigenous Australians. And you can also sort that by your audience here, by your genre, and so on, and even your locations. So coming back to the advanced search, there is also in that cultural identity filter or limiter, we also have Māori for New Zealand as well, so Māori authors. So books or audiobooks and also authors in this list as well. And again, you've got your author reader likes too. All right, so that is advanced searching. There's a lot you can do with the advanced search. So I'll just jump back in there and just point out a few other things as well. There is obviously a more advanced search form here. So you can search directly for genres, for appeal factors, and for themes by using your field codes here, even for series or by publisher as well. But what I really like about the advanced search is just those abilities to filter. So, for example, maybe you needed to have some titles where the author is from a particular country, and maybe you're wanting those titles to be pitched at a particular grade level. So, I don't know, year 9, or maybe even an age level or a reader level. So those options are also available here. So we could do ages 9 to 12 or even teen or adult here as well. So now I've just got 3 results. The author is from Afghanistan in this case, and they are for ages 9 to 12. So then we get our list of audiobooks, and we also get the list of authors, which is useful as well. Okay, so that is the advanced searching on NoveList. Plus, there is a lot of really useful information in this platform. It is quite unique in that it is a reader's advisory service. Now, if anyone has any questions, do feel free to pop them through in the chat. That is the end of our demonstration today, but I did just want to mention that we are getting a new user interface in mid-2025, so around July. So just have a couple of screenshots to give you a sneak peek of what that might look like. Look a little bit different come July. Here's the advanced searching option and your quick links again for your reader likes, information about a particular title, the curated reader likes with the reasons, and how to build your own reader likes using Search for More like this. Okay, so that does take me to the end of the session. Please let me know if you have any questions on NoveList Plus. Before we go, I'll just point out again, if you're after any help information, the help button is here to the top right. It will open in a new tab and take you into the NoveList Plus help. So here's information about the new NoveList Plus that's coming soon. If you need additional support, there is a contact email here as well. And for the majority of information, you'll find your support information through EBSCO Connect. So here's lots of articles for novelists. So search strategies, the new Novelist Experience Transition Center, and more. Okay, and that takes me to the end of the session. Again, for more information about Novelist Plus, please visit ebsco.com/novelist. And thank you very much for your time. This session has been recorded and will be made available to you.